Welcome this stories. It always begins with a fleeting glance, a subtle change in atmosphere, a breath held too long, a heartbeat skipped in the silence, a gaze that holds just a heartbeat too long, igniting a spark of something unspoken. Perhaps I felt it deep down, even before it was clear. Perhaps it was a whisper of longing, a flicker of something that had faded beneath layers of familiarity and unspoken boundaries. Yet, the whispers lingered, urging me to see what my heart dared not reveal. Whispers in the dim light of the office, where time stands still and hearts race. Just a few more stolen moments, my love. A thrilling project awaits us, filled with unspoken tension and hidden desires. Unanswered whispers. Silence echoes in the void of unreturned messages. I'm so sorry, I got caught up in a meeting. It's a feeling we both understand all too well. Fresh attire, a hint of allure. I just wanted to indulge in a moment of sweetness. Excuses lingered in the air, her sweet smile a veil over the truth, as if she believed I was too naive to see through it. I wasn't naive. I held back, my heart racing, unsure of what to say. In the shadows of truth, the guilty find solace in deception. I had no desire to listen to deceit. I craved a truth that was raw, unyielding, and impossible to escape. And I couldn't look away. It was a Thursday night when everything changed, the air thick with unspoken words and lingering glances. She whispered that she would be working late, her eyes glinting with a secret we both understood but dared not speak of. Once more, I lay still, heart racing, as she slipped through the door at 1:47 a.m., the weight of unspoken words hanging in the air. Her perfume lingered in the air, a sweet reminder of moments we couldn't share. A fragrance that stirred something deep within me, unfamiliar yet intoxicating. The following day, I noticed inconsistencies in her behavior, leading me to suspect the truth. I felt a rush of exhilaration instead. She had taken a decade of my heart, and yet it felt like a fleeting moment, filled with longing and unspoken desires. 10 years of stolen glances, whispered promises, and a bond that defies the world. If she was letting it go, I wouldn't be the one to chase after what was never meant to be mine. In just 3 days, I found it all, yet it felt so wrong. Whispers of a hidden identity, a fleeting escape in the shadows. Whispers of lavish dinners I was never meant to share. Messages exchanged in the shadows, filled with longing and hidden desires. One, in particular, sent a shiver through my heart. Last night lingers in my mind, a bittersweet memory I can't shake off. Your husband remains blissfully unaware of the passion that could have been. I sat there, eyes glued to the screen, my heart racing as my fingers gripped the armrest, a mix of longing and fear swirling within me. My heartbeat quickened. Too safe. I had expected fury, a wild storm of emotions. Yet, all I sensed was an icy void. She was cautious, and I admired that about her. Erasing the echoes of our whispered secrets. Erasing the traces of a fleeting moment. Keeping her phone just out of reach, a silent promise to herself, every time she stepped through the door. Yet, no one can truly guard their heart. Just for a moment, I scrolled down, my heart racing, past the flirtations, past the plans that felt so tantalizing yet so wrong. I craved a glimpse of someone, anyone, to fill the void within me. A whisper. And there he stood, a heartbeat away, igniting a spark that felt both thrilling and wrong. Brock, my heart races at the mere thought of you. At first, he was just a stranger to me, a name that surfaced in conversations, carrying with it a story I never wanted to hear. A name that lingered in my mind, a whisper from one of her corporate gatherings. A smooth, refined figure in a tailored suit. The type of guy who likely saw a wedding ring as merely a piece of jewelry. I gazed at his picture, my heart racing with unspoken longing, smoldering, beaming with a secret joy, oblivious to the fact that he was on the brink of becoming a whisper in my wife's unraveling. In that fleeting instant, my heart chose a path it knew it shouldn't. I held back the urge to cry out. I never intended to let my emotions spill over. I wasn't going to lose control. I thought about turning my back and leaving it all behind. Not from a place of weakness, not from a place of surrender. Yet, no matter what I did, it could never compare to the heartache of losing someone like me. The next morning, I moved through my routine, masking the turmoil inside as if nothing had shifted in my world. whispered a soft goodbye as she slipped away to work, the air thick with unspoken longing. Responded to her messages, each one a secret thrill. I decided it was time to move on, no longer willing to be a part of a relationship built on broken trust. Time stands still, not desperately, intentionally. I grasped just what my heart craved. My heart races as I gather the bare necessities, clothes, essentials, and those precious documents that hold my secrets. All that remains. The house held secrets, the furniture whispered stories, and the memories lingered like a bittersweet ache. I walked away, shedding the past like an old skin, leaving behind what once was. As dusk settled, I found myself alone in a hotel room, the air thick with unspoken desires. And with that, my heart raced as I pressed send. In the quiet moments, emotions stirred, leading to choices that would change everything. I won't stand in the way of your joy. Just this, and nothing else. No blame, no anger, just a lingering ache in the silence between us. It's a truth that lingers in the shadows, a whisper of longing that can't be ignored. I switched off my phone, allowing the quiet to fill the space where anger once lingered. In that instant, everything my wife held dear began to unravel, and I couldn't even be there to see it unfold. Her call came almost instantly. My heart raced as her name illuminated the screen, quivering with longing. Aurora's wife lingered in his thoughts, a haunting presence he couldn't shake off. I remained silent. The first few calls came in a flurry, each one igniting a spark of longing. Side by side, yet worlds apart, as if she believed I could ever overlook them. And then the messages arrived. Aurora, my heart races at the mere thought of you. What could that possibly mean? I miss you so much. Please, where are you hiding? Aurora, my heart races at the mere thought of you. Darling, are you all right? Aurora, my heart races at the mere thought of you. Whisper to me, just once more. My heart races, and I can't breathe. I placed the phone aside, letting the moment linger as I savored a slow sip of my drink. The hotel room held a heavy silence, cold and unfeeling, a bittersweet escape from the turmoil that threatened to consume her. Her heart raced as she pressed the call button once more. Once more? By the 10th call, her heart raced as she left a trembling voicemail. I turned a deaf ear to it. I could picture it vividly. Her voice trembled, a whisper of desperation. Perhaps a hint of anger lingered in the air. The fear slowly envelopes me, the quiet dawning that my heart was betraying her expectations. Those who betray understand the depths of fury. They brace themselves for the inevitable clash, for the unspoken words that linger in the air, for heartache and pleading. Yet, there was only silence. The silence wraps around them like a shroud, heavy and suffocating. I watched her simmer in silence. It felt like an eternity before I dared to look at my messages. Aurora, my heart races at the mere thought of you. I can't quite grasp it. Did we cross a line? Do you hate me now? Aurora, my heart races at the mere thought of you. Whisper your secrets to me. Aurora, my heart races at the mere thought of you. Just come back to me. We need to talk. Aurora, my heart races at the mere thought of you. Sean. The name lingers like a whispered secret, igniting a spark that feels both thrilling and dangerous. I promise, if you don't respond, I'll be lost. I can't stay away any longer. I'm searching for you. A smile danced at the corners of my lips, a fleeting moment of joy that felt both sweet and wrong. She was falling apart. I poured my heart into a message, trembling with the weight of unspoken feelings. Brief yet filled with longing. I've always known. And with a heavy heart, I switched my phone off once more. I stayed away that night, my heart heavy with the weight of unspoken words. Or perhaps the one after that. I kept my distance, hiding my heart from her gaze. No traces left behind. No hotel reservations under my name. I decided to step away discreetly, choosing to distance myself from the chaos. If she truly sought me, she'd have to linger in that desolate house, lost in her thoughts and yearning for what could never be. And from what I learned later, she truly did. I chose to step away, allowing myself the space to heal while she processed the reality of our choices. For the first time, the woman who had always been in charge, who meticulously crafted every moment, found herself unraveling. On the third day, a different kind of message found its way to me. Aurora, my heart races at the mere thought of you. Just say something to me, please. I crossed a line I shouldn't have. I understand that all too well. Yet, somehow, we can make it right. Aurora, My heart races at the mere thought of you. You have no idea what's really going on inside my heart. But no matter what stands between us, we can find a way to overcome it. Aurora, my heart races at the mere thought of you. My heart aches for you, Sean. Just give me an answer, please. My heart aches for you. Humorous. I pictured her there, in the quiet of our bedroom, a bittersweet ache filling the space between us. Phone trembling in her grasp. Hoping for a glimpse of the Sean I once knew. Hoping to see me. Break. To seek a reason, heart racing with unspoken longing. To whisper to her, wondering if it had all been a fleeting error. But that Sean was lost to me now. The man she had deceived, her heart aching with every secret she kept. Heartbroken. Crushed. He vanished the instant I zipped up my bag, leaving a hollow ache in my chest. As the week drew to a close, my heart whispered that the moment had come. To resist the urge. Not to fight. Only to bring it to a close. I held my breath until she was at work. Then she returned home, heart heavy with unspoken words. The house felt like a ghost of our past, untouched yet heavy with unspoken words. Except for the signs of her heartbreaking. Unwashed dishes linger in the sink, a silent reminder of moments left unspoken. A wine glass on the coffee table, half empty, whispers secrets of stolen moments. Her laptop lay abandoned, a silent witness to the moments they shared. Each glance a spark of something unspoken, something that felt both thrilling and wrong. Its screen filled with countless unsent messages, each one a whisper of longing for what could never be. She had poured her heart into every attempt. And yet, her heart remained silent. Never, even in the hush of unspoken words. All the longing. She clung to the fragile hope that her words could weave a path to freedom. I turned a blind eye to the messages. I ascended the stairs, heart racing with a mix of excitement and trepidation. I clutched the last remnants of what was once ours. Nothing that stirs the heart, only the essentials. And then I slipped away, leaving behind a final piece of my heart for her. On the kitchen table, I laid an envelope, my heart racing at the thought of what it contained. In here, fragments of her heart captured in words exchanged with Brock. Screenshots of her hotel reservations. A copy of my lawyer's contact information. And one single, handwritten note. I no longer needed closure. I had already moved forward. Then I walked out of that house and never looked back. She showed up at my hotel 2 days later. I knew she would. I had anticipated it. The moment when the denial phase would break and reality would crush her. I imagined her checking our shared bank account, seeing that I had moved my money into a separate one, calling our friends, realizing that I had already told them everything. She had no control anymore. So when the knock came at my door, I wasn't surprised. I took my time before answering. When I finally opened it, she stood there, disheveled, desperate, broken. She stood before me, stripped of the confidence she once carried, searching for words that no longer mattered. Her lips trembled as she took me in, scanning my face for something. Anger, sadness, longing. Yet, I offered her everything. Her breath trembled as she inhaled. Sean, my heart races at the mere thought of you. Just say something, please. I stood in the shadows of the doorway, my arms wrapped tightly around myself. What is there to say? Her eyes sparkled with a mix of longing and regret. Her fingers brushed the air between us, a desperate hope that contact might pull me into her world once more. I took a step away, seeing that simple gesture shatter her heart even more. Her breath caught in her throat. This was never part of the plan. A soft chuckle escaped me, tinged with something deeper. Was that truly all she had to offer? I tilted my head, a rush of unspoken feelings swirling within me. It was never supposed to unfold like this. Her heart raced as doubt crept in. That was everything. That moment of uncertainty. She was still keeping it a secret. Even now, after all we've been through, she lingered, hoping I'd find the courage to speak the words that hung between us. She yearned to shape the story, to hold the reins of their secret world. Make sure she only confessed to what I already knew. She thought she could still manipulate the situation. She thought wrong. I exhaled slowly. If you're not even going to admit it, why are you here? Her hands balled into fists. You left me. There it was. Not I'm sorry. Not I hurt you. Not I betrayed you. Just blame. I let the silence stretch between us, watching as she squirmed. She wiped at her eyes angrily. I just needed something that I wasn't getting at home. I felt nothing. She was expecting some emotional reaction. Anger, pain, maybe even regret. But there was nothing left for her to break. My voice was calm. And now you have it. So why are you here? Her breath hitched. Because I lost you. She said it like she was just realizing it for the first time. Like it had only now occurred to her that she had traded something irreplaceable for a fleeting thrill. I could have said a lot of things then. I could have told her how her betrayal had gutted me. How I had spent nights staring at the ceiling, wondering how I could have been so blind. How every memory we had built together was now tainted with the knowledge that she had been lying to me. But I didn't, because none of it mattered anymore. Instead, I looked her straight in the eye and said, "You didn't lose me, Aurora. You threw me away." Her breath caught. That was the moment she truly broke. Her shoulders slumped. The fight drained from her eyes. The last bit of hope she had. The hope that I would scream, fight, tell her we could fix this, shattered. She knew then. I wasn't coming back. I watched as she crumbled, as the weight of everything crashed down on her. And for the first time, I saw a real regret. Not regret for what she did. Regret for what she lost. She reached up, covering her mouth as a sob broke free. "Sean, I love you. I was just stupid. Please, I'll do anything to fix this." I studied her for a long moment. Then I simply said, "I don't love you anymore." I closed the door. I heard her cry on the other side. Heard her whisper my name one last time before she finally walked away. And when the silence settled in, I felt it. Freedom. Months passed. Months in which I rebuilt myself. While she was drowning in the mess she made, I was thriving. I moved into a sleek new apartment downtown. No ghosts of the past. No lingering scent of betrayal in the sheets. I started hitting the gym again. Picked up old hobbies. Reconnected with people I had neglected during my marriage. I leveled up. And Aurora? She was spiraling. At first, she put on a show. Posting pictures. Fake smiles. Pretending she was living her best life. But the cracks were visible to anyone who knew her. The apartment she had fought to keep felt empty. Her relationship with Brock? Over in less than 2 months. Turns out, men like him love the thrill of the affair. But once the secrecy is gone, so is the excitement. She wasn't the forbidden fruit anymore. She was just a woman who cheated on her husband. I didn't check in on her. I didn't need to. People talked. Mutual friends who had quietly picked a side let things slip. She found herself navigating a life very different from what she had envisioned. She started drinking more. One friend mentioned seeing her at a bar alone, staring at her phone, looking lost. She searched for something new, but found that some choices come with lasting consequences. She was slowly realizing that she had ruined her life for nothing. I focused on rebuilding my life, finding peace in the choices I made for myself. The final blow came when she reached out again. Not a call this time. A letter. Handwritten. Desperate. It arrived on a quiet Friday evening. I almost didn't read it, but curiosity got the better of me. It started with apologies. "I don't expect you to forgive me, but I need you to know that I hate myself for what I did." Then came the self-pity. "I lost everything. You were the best thing that ever happened to me, and I threw it away. I don't know how to live with that." And finally, the plea. "I don't deserve a second chance, but I miss you. Even if we can never be together again, I just want to talk. To see you. Please, Sean. Just one conversation. Just tell me you don't hate me." I folded the letter neatly and tossed it into the trash. I didn't need to respond, because I knew the truth. She wasn't asking for closure. She wasn't asking for forgiveness. She was asking for a lifeline. She wanted to believe that some part of me still belonged to her, that she hadn't completely destroyed the one person who actually gave a damn about her. But she was no longer mine. She made sure of that the moment she let another man into our bed. And I wasn't going to be the man to save her from the consequences of her choices. I grabbed my keys, stepped out of my apartment, and headed to meet some friends for drinks. The night was young, and my life had never been better. Dear listeners, please share your thoughts in the comments. And do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel.